Wife cheated on me with a guy who was in the army and is now having a second child to him. I met my wife in 2009, and we tied the knot in 2013. She was 18 when we crossed paths, while I was 29 at the time. Now, she's 33 and I'm 44. Together, we have 4 children aged 13, 12, 9, and 5. Throughout our years together, she's been a stay-at-home mom, never having to work or handle any bills. Over time, I noticed her engaging in flirtatious conversations with other men on multiple occasions, but I never had concrete suspicions of physical infidelity. However, things took a turn at the beginning of 2022 when I stumbled upon messages from a new guy who claimed to be enlisted in the Army and heading to boot camp. Despite her assurances that she had no intention of seeing him, come April 2022, she returned home from a weekend at her friend's place with visible hickeys on her neck. It turned out the guy had taken leave after boot camp, and their plan was to rendezvous at her friend's residence. A heated argument ensued between us, leading her to obtain a protection from abuse (PFA) order against me, resulting in my removal from our home. Subsequently, the guy left her friend's house to visit his father nearby. Following my arrest in front of our kids, she brought him back to our house and engaged in intimate encounters in our bed. Once his leave was over, he returned to his base, and my wife failed to attend the permanent PFA hearing. She later pleaded for my return, and though I went back, tensions rose due to her ongoing communication with the guy, who was scheduled for another leave in the summer. Frustrated, I reached out to his military base, expressing my discontent about his adultery with my wife and warning of repercussions if he visited our home. Consequently, he ended up at our neighbor's house, prompting my wife to take our kids and move next door. Despite the comfortable life we provided for our children, including their own rooms and the latest gadgets, my wife opted to relocate with them to our neighbors. In this new setting, they lacked personal space, sleeping on couches and floors. My wife, who has no income, chose to uproot them. Meanwhile, she maintained physical relations with me and continued to fetch necessities from our place. The guy managed to stay there for 2 weeks by avoiding me entirely. Additionally, a no trespassing order, signed by our shared landlord, prevented me from intervening. Several weeks later, she discovered she was pregnant and given my vasectomy post-birth of our youngest child. I knew the child was not mine. The baby arrived 9 months later, and I took our dog and got an apartment. She frequented my apartment, bringing the kids along, before heading back to our neighbors with them. I raised the issue of adultery with the Army, resulting in the guy's discharge. He relocated near my wife's mother, leading to me facing new charges for threatening him, with bail conditions barring proximity to him or my wife. Despite these events, my wife has yet to seek divorce, intermittently contacting me for her convenience. Currently, our children reside with my mother-in-law, as my wife struggles to support them. The aftermath of these tumultuous events resulted in me losing my job, a new car, and our home, and recently the apartment, compelling us to live with our respective parents. Despite the chaos, she fails to acknowledge her role, shifting all the blame onto me. Currently still have pending charges and SICE is now involved. Is this really all my fault?